trade foreign currency, how to trade foreign currency. We have some very high net worth individuals in the house, and I didn't want to let this time go by without us doing some Q&A about money, investing, and why trading foreign currency is probably one of the smartest, financially innovative things that you could ever do. And so I said we got to take advantage of them being here. We were actually in the middle of a training with Stevenson right here, Mr. Stevenson Lindor, and he was teaching us what trades to actually do, going into finishing up 2017, moving us into 2018. And I think you shared quickly, you had one lady take her account from how much?
From $10,000 to over $250,000.
In what time frame?
Less than 90 days.
Less than 90 days. So definitely go ahead and tag your friend right now. Give us some love. Give us some hearts. Come on, tag. Get that going. This could absolutely be an absolute game changer for you. Hey, Panetta, Bishop Favors. Okay, let me turn this over. And just kind of, I guess, maybe sit right there where I was. And then make sure you scan so we can catch everything. All right, great. So I'm going to go ahead and get this kicked off. Stevenson was just training on what trading foreign currency is. Now, this is the thing that I want to say. Never, ever, ever be afraid to learn something new, okay? It takes two things to become wealthy. One, you have to make a decision, and two, you have to start. Okay, so you have to, one, make a decision, and two, you have to start. And right now, with it being the end of the year, a lot of people are making a decision about their money, what gifts they're going to buy. And I'm all for gift giving. I love gift giving. I think it's amazing. But I think one of the greatest things that we can do, especially for people in our community, is we can begin to talk to them, have conversations about money. You know, growing up, we just didn't have those conversations. I didn't have those conversations. It just was what it was. And we just didn't talk about it. And so therefore, most of us ended up having this dysfunctional relationship with money. And so I've got this power panel right here. And I'm telling you right now, everybody up here are powerhouses. I wouldn't have them up here if they were not powerhouses. And so all of these people have had experiences of being broke, and then also experiences of making money, losing money, and then bouncing back sometimes 2 and 3 times. But the reality is, it's a mentality. And so I guess the first question that I want to ask is, let's kick it off and go to Dr. Ashia, because I love her story. Dr. Ashia, she's actually a pharmacist by profession, and Dr. Ashia made a decision to leave corporate America and to become a full-time trader and a full-time builder. And so when you did that, it was like, whoa, you were excited about it, but then you started realizing that there was a whole nother level of discipline that was required of you. Now, I want you to do this. If you're watching this via Facebook Live, whoever's phone you're watching this on, I want to encourage you to make a decision to contact them, because in order for you to go to the next level, you're going to have to first reconnect and connect with people that have a growth mindset and that will provoke you to good works. And so talk a little bit about that process and what you found out leaving corporate America, then now becoming an entrepreneur / investor. What kind of happened?
Yeah, so definitely, first off, can y'all hear me? Hey, okay. Yeah, so definitely, first off, I realized that pharmacist by trade. So my corporate America job was not, your typical job. It was a very solid 6-figure earning job. And so I realized that what I thought was secure is not secure. So that's the first thing. Because I think sometimes when we go to school, in order to guarantee our security, we have to really have a reality check in realizing that we've placed our financial well-being in somebody else's hands, and the rug can be pulled from underneath us at any given point in time. So it doesn't matter whether I'm making $10 an hour, $50 an hour, $100 an hour on my job. If I am not the one making the decisions about my money, then I really don't have financial control over my life. And so I really had to step out and do something different. And of course I heard those things like, girl, what you mean? You got benefits and all that other kind of stuff. But it's like, no, I see something bigger. I see the writing on the wall. I see that what you're saying is not secure is really not secure. It's pharmacies closing down every single day. And so I've got to make the decision that I am going to be in control of my own financial future, and I'm no longer going to put that control in my boss's hands. But what I didn't realize was that my job was making me weak, really. literally. My job was making my mind weak because I got so used to somebody telling me what to do, telling me what time to go to the bathroom, telling me if I was actually hungry or not, telling me they were making so many decisions for me that it disabled the ability in me to make my own decisions. And so it didn't matter, you know, if I was a high dollar slave or a medium dollar slave or a low dollar slave. Bondage is bondage. Okay? And so I had to say, you know what, I want off of this hamster wheel, even though I may feel like I can't get off because shoot, I'm drowning in, you know, 6-figure salary, 6-figure debt, student loans. It's like, go figure that. You know what I mean? So you owe $150,000 a year. You making $150,000. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, can I really afford to get off? But I'm like, I have to get off, or I'm gonna die if I stay. Like literally, the genius on the inside of me will die if I stay. The creative ability that I have will die if I stay. I do not know how to feed myself because I become so used to somebody feeding me. If I ever was in a situation where that plate wasn't being slid to me, I don't even know how to think my way out of this hole.
Wow.
Because I've never had to do it. So I'm like, I'm a grown woman that literally doesn't even know how to walk myself to the bathroom. Like in the natural, we'd be like, what in the world? But I'm a baby because somebody else is changing my diaper for me every single day. And I don't know what it means in order to put forth my own action. So I had to do something different. And I said, okay, I got to do something different. But it wasn't enough just for me to make that initial decision. That was a start. But then once I got over on the other side, I really realized how weak I really was because I was like, shoot, this is some work. You know, I'm thinking entrepreneurship is going to provide all this grand freedom. And so that gives me the ability to decide day to day what I do and do not want to do. Wrong. You know, and so I had to have that self-discipline and self-control to say, no, you may not want to do this, but you have to do it anyway because you want to continue that momentum. And so it's kind of like I realized where my job was, you know, on my job it was like, oh, well, I don't want to answer the phone, or I don't want to, or I'm hiding from, you know, customers or whatever. Like, woo, we got to rush. Okay, now it's time for a break. And I thought that I could transfer that over to the business side and say, woo, I got to rush in my business. A whole bunch of people coming in. It's time for me to go on vacation. And that killed my business, you know, that mindset. And so I just want to say that I don't care how much money you're making. You know, I'm not intimidated by salaries. I'm not intimidated by medical professionals because I know the silent cries that you have. You know, I'm not intimidated by what you're driving, where you live, none of that. Because I know you need what we are offering.
All right, can we clap that up real quick? Everybody hold their phone. That's crazy. Drops mic. So there was a whole nother mindset that you had to come into, you know, thinking, okay, I'm on break. And there's a whole nother level of discipline that's required. Garrett, I want to ask you this. I'm really proud of Garrett. Garrett, how old are you?
I'm 27, just turned 27.
Just turned 27. Now, what the big deal about that is that he's a very responsible millennial. And he also is a 6-figure earner every month. And obviously you come into this at a very young age. Like most people don't even ever accomplish. Most people make 6 figures a year, let alone 6 figures a month. So talk about what was the deciding factor. Was it at 18, 19, 20? Kind of what was that thing that made you say, I'm not a regular guy, I got to level up?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I always wanted to not be regular. So it started probably like 10, 12. I always just didn't want to be regular. I didn't want a job. I wanted nicer things. My mom, she was a single parent, had multiple jobs. Used to see her take the bus and, you know, almost get kidnapped all the time by trying where we was at located. So I always told myself I didn't want to be regular. I was kind of a kid who used to get laughed at in school by the things I wore. they look at my shoes and be like, those is Payless or stuff like that. So I always told myself, like, I don't want to be regular. So by the time I got to like 12, 13, I was always in the sports. I wanted to be the best in sports. When sports, it wasn't really for me anymore. I always wanted to be the best in everything I did. So I never really wanted to be regular, but when I realized that I'm not regular, that's probably like in my teenage years. I just wanted more.
You wanted more. What would you say, because we already know being in this space, you know, for people that might be watching, and even for us, because we're forever growing, how important would you say developing the right squad to become that person that you admire? How important is this kind of network and these kind of relationships and this kind of team? How important is that to your success, you think?
Right, so it's definitely important who you surround yourself by, who you watch, who you listen to, even the person you wake up with every morning. Like it's important the energy you surround yourself by. So like me, you know, I used to just, anybody in my city knows, like if you used to come to my house, you'd probably be like 2 dudes laying on the floor, 5 people over there shooting dice, people over here doing this, doing that. That was kind of the life I was living. So I had to like kick everybody out of my house. I said, look, I'm changing my life. I don't care if y'all are homeless or what, like y'all gotta go. And that was a very hard decision for me. So I just said, look, y'all guys gotta go. I'm changing my life. I'm trying to do new things. I started surrounding myself around uplifting people, mentors, like I was explaining earlier, reading books, rewriting down the things I was learning in those books, because I couldn't surround myself around those people because I didn't know them, but I tried my best by bringing those people around me and everything I did. So the energy is important, definitely.
It's really important. And you got to be around people that's bold and courageous to help you be able to make these kind of power moves, opposed to just watching on the sideline saying, hey, no, I'm about to pick up the phone and join this financial movement that they have going on. Because the likelihood of you being able to do it by yourself, I think, is really small. Stevenson is like a top Forex trader. This brother is doing amazing things, helping people make a lot of money every single day by teaching them, actually not just telling them what to trade, but teaching them how to trade. What would you say for the person who's like, oh, I want to learn how to trade, but I'm going to just do it on my own? Because most of the traders that I know that's really successful, we do it in groups. It's not an individual sport. It's a well-building skill set that you need to do as a team, as a group. So talk about that.
Yeah, so definitely. So, you know, today we pretty much spent the whole day learning about ecosystem, right? Keep talking about that, right? Because it's about a community. So same thing, like, you know, the old saying of, you know, how you raise a good child in a good village, you're gonna grow up, right? The same thing as a trader, you gotta build them up. So for all those who wanna go about and trade on their own, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a very expensive lesson. I can tell you personally, when I tried to learn trading on my own, because, you know, I had a degree in finance from school, I said, I can do trading Forex on my own, right? Any market. Cost me over $20,000, right? I'm like, man, that was an expensive lesson, right? But once I got around the right mentors and I got around leadership and people that actually showed me how to properly do it, I said, okay, now this is the system. This is how you understand it. Just like anything else in any field, right? You don't see an athlete get to the professional by doing everything by himself. You got to ride around coaches, right teammates. Same thing else. You got to treat your life in every aspect, in anything that you want to do. You know, you're going to learn how to drive a car. You're going to learn from somebody who professionally has been driving a car for over 20 plus years. You want to learn how to become a network marketer. You want to learn from somebody who's actually doing it. The problem with so many people and why they fail, they try to learn on their own, or 2, they have bad mentors, right? You're learning from people who are probably doing worse than you. Right? You want to make sure you're learning from people who are actually doing exactly where you want to be in life. I always tell people, success comes to you as fast as you want to learn, right? So you want to learn from people who are actually doing exactly where you want to be, and you want to learn it as fast as them. That's the only way you're going to get to where your true destination is.
That's so good. That's so good. I know y'all, y'all families, y'all can't really clap, but that's so good, because you can't expect that you're like, oh, I want to be successful. successful, but now nobody in your circle is. You got to get around people that will stretch you and get comfortable with being uncomfortable, you know, which is why I wanted to take this time to do this, because when you have these, you know, when you have successful mindset, you got a bunch of people with a successful mindset, you need to talk about that, because sometimes you think on your way, you know, I'm gonna quit, or, you know, maybe it's not for me. No, it is for you, but it just takes so much courage and so much perseverance and so much consistency that you got to be around people where you can hear their testimonies that will wake something up in you and say, oh no, heck no, this is going to be for me, this is going to be my time, I'm moving forward. So I want to go to Anthony really quickly. I'm really proud of Anthony. Anthony, you've actually had 6-figure days as well. That's huge. Yeah, he's had 6-figure days. And that's how you can't underestimate. You can't figure out, think you know, no, you don't know. That's how you got to just stay open. And I want to say this, stop getting financial advice from people that are not qualified. I love certain people in my family with everything in me. Some of them taught me how to love Jesus. Some of them taught me how to love family. Some of them taught me how to fight. Some of them taught me how to love people. But just because they're good people where other things are concerned does not mean that they are qualified to teach you about your money. And sometimes we get that confused because we love grandma. You know what I mean? Grandma whooped our tail. Grandma kept us out of jail. Grandma did all kinds of stuff. But it doesn't mean that that I can go to her and say, what you think about trading foreign currency? Because for a person that's been broke all their life, when you start hearing about being able to make these big numbers, the first thing they say, oh, something ain't right. That's a scam. No, your life is a scam. But you just don't know it. You know what I mean? Because it's all that you knew. So you got to put yourself around other people that will make you think. There's innovation in the world now. It's more millionaires and billionaires being made now than any other time because of what we all have access to. This financial app that we want you to have access to. Okay, but you're going to have to make a decision and do something. Anthony, last year you were working for corporate America, right? What month was your, last December you were working for corporate America, right?
I was actually working for, can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, good.
I was actually working for corporate America this year.
This year?
Wow. Yeah, I left my job the end of August this year.
End of August this year.
Yeah.
Now, I think you told me, where's your wife? Is she here? I think you told me your wife had to kind of hold the household down.
Well, initially, before I actually started work, because I do IT. I used to do IT, but you know, still people. It's something you don't forget, but you know, that was my job. I did IT, and in the beginning, before I actually started, when I first, you know, when me and my wife first met, you know, I was working in another IT field, but I lost my job, and it started, you know, it was, you know, and that was the beginning of our relationship. You know, and a lot of times when you get married, you know, and finances go to the tank, you know, the wife say, okay, well, you know, hey, you know, I'm the bread earner. You know, you're not the man that you're supposed to be. So, but one thing about my wife was she still allowed me to be the king in the house. All right. That actually motivated me and pushed me to do more. And you know, in the process of working IT, you know, I started learning about, you know, different, you know, avenues to make money, and Bitcoin was one of the ways. And you know, I was never scared of myself. You know, one of the biggest problems with people is fear. And when you have fear in your heart, you know, that's going to stop you from doing a lot of things. So since I wasn't afraid of myself, I wasn't afraid to make risk. And so, you know, I took out, you know, all the money that we had with, you know, 401k, you know, savings, and you know, her money, and you know, we made a, you know, substantial sacrifice. You know, like upwards of $50,000. You know, that one time, a lot of people like, you know, what are you doing? You know, I never talked to, you know, people that of course they have my best interest in mind, but they was afraid, You know, when you're talking to a scared person, they can't tell you nothing but scary things. I decided not to talk to, you know, a lot of people and tell them exactly what I was doing. But I told them, I said, well, listen, there's something new that y'all need to get into. They, of course, you know, people being scared, they didn't want to do it. And I said, well, listen, I'm making a substantial sacrifice. You know, so, you know, I thought that my sacrifice would rub off on them, and they'll say, okay, well, yeah, you know, I can do it too. But, you know, they didn't. They waited till, you know, I made a bunch of money. They waited till, you know, like, I think now, you know, everybody's kind of starting to come around, but, you know, at this point, the time that I had in the beginning, I don't have that time now. You know, but, you know, I still, you know, sacrifice some time for them. But it's like, you know, when I'm telling you, when we can come in on the same playing field, it's a lot easier for us to walk together when I'm all, you know, unless I'm way up in a whole other area, and it's like, you know, the time that you're trying to get, you know, a lot of people are paying me for that time. So, you know, it's a wonderful thing to do that and have somebody in your back, in your corner, that's like, go ahead, babe, make it do what it do. Yeah. And so, you know, she gave me that fuel to do what I'm doing. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's hot. Isn't that good? I know y'all can't clap everybody.
We talking about some results, you good?
Yeah. Talking about some results. For the followers. Go ahead, Garrett. Get Garrett the mic. Garrett, what would you try to say?
I am like some results you got Bitcoin. Like.
Well, I started in December, you know, when Bitcoin was, you know, really starting to, you know, even, of course it was taking off, you know, before, but it was really starting to take off around that time. And, you know, when I started, I was like, you know, I actually started with, you know, different programs. Like one was like Gladiator Coin. I know that's probably a sore spot in somebody's eyes, but, you know, I made like $200,000 with them. And so, you know, it was.
If you watching, just clap that up online. I know they.
And then, you know, what I did was I took the money that I made from there and started investing in just, you know, different currencies, altcoins. Those are just different versions of Bitcoin, basically. You know, I'm not gonna get real technical on it, but it's basically just lower forms of cryptocurrency. And so, you know, I started investing with some, you know, I had a business partner. He was really heavy into it. See, I was working, so he had more time to spend on it. So, of course, he was making a whole boatload more money than I was. But on the other end, you know, I was still kind of, you know, at my level, you know, following the trades that he was doing. And, you know, some of the coins, you know, I would make, you know, it was getting exciting because some of the coins I would make like $100,000 in one day. And so, you know, to do that, to see something like that, you know, that would just like kind of blow your mind. But, you know, you got to start somewhere. You know, you would have to put in like $25,000, $30,000 at one time, and, you know, not be scared. Like, you know, that's somebody making a year, but how much money do you really want to make? You know, you got to set yourself up and say, okay, well, yeah, I don't want to just make $30,000, $50,000, even $100,000 a year. I want to make that in a day or a week or whatever, you know. So you just kind of set yourself up for that. So I think the biggest I would say haul that I made was it was a coin called Ormius coin. It was a coin my business partner started, and when he started the coin, you know, I was like, okay, well, yeah, I know how smart you are, and I know that you can really make some things happen. So, you know, I followed him. I helped him with a lot of the, you know, the back office things. And so I said, well, I believe in me. So, you know, I might as well go ahead and invest in it. And I probably invested about $60,000 into it. And, you know, once it took off, I made about $800,000 at one time.
How do I make my own coin? Yes, I got some value. Like 800,000 in one day?
It was like, it took like 2 days, but.
Wow. 2 days? And you guys don't pay no taxes on crypto, right?
No, you don't pay that.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So this is what I want everybody to pay attention to. So he made $800,000 in about 2 days. But this is what I want you to pay attention to, and this is the thing, and this is why everybody up here, I consider them family. Because I wouldn't even put them on this platform. But what I love about them is that not only are they successful, but they walk in humility.
Yes.
So huge. So huge. So anyway, okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. So that's huge. We're gonna come back to you, Stevenson. So for the person, and this is what I love about this industry, is that you can start with just $50. We can help you set up a Forex account, because as big as those numbers are, for some people, it's not yet obtainable because their capacity is still stuck on $50,000 a year. And you might be thinking, oh, that's for somebody else. No, it's not for somebody else, it's for you. Which is why we really didn't plan this. I just, last minute, was like, I got too much power in one room to not go public at one of the most powerful, exciting, but emotional and depressing time of the year for some people. Because the reality is Jesus is the reason for the season, but there is nothing like being a single parent with a bunch of children and you're trying to figure out how you're going to make them have a good Christmas. Or maybe being a man, but maybe you just lost your job. I don't know what your situation is, but what I'm saying is that you don't have to stay in that situation. All you have to do is email the person, inbox the person that you're watching their Facebook right now and say, listen, I'm ready to connect. I'm ready to do, if it can happen for all of them, there's you can see Anthony, Ashia, Garrett, Stevenson, these are all just everyday people who just dare to believe that it can happen for me. Right? So Stevenson, a person can literally take a $50 account and you're training how many days a week? Talk about your training because you famous. I told the people about to go Facebook Live. These people about to mob me, honey. I said, listen, we got to do this for everybody. We can't just think about ourselves. Y'all gonna get it because y'all here. But I want the people out there, I want the masses of people that are watching in Australia, watching in Africa, watching in different parts of the United States, watching in Europe, to know that this is for them too. So for a person, they could just literally start with $50. Tell us some testimonies and talk about the training that you have. And this is one of the reasons why you need to connect.
Well, this is the beauty about trading Forex, right? It doesn't take a large capital to actually flip your money in. That's the beauty of the compound effect, right? So for those who don't understand how the compound effect works, is literally, just doubling your money every single day. Just imagine a penny turn into 2 pennies, turn into 4 pennies, so on and so forth. So she talks about $50. We literally have those type of testimonial. I have a person directly under me who started in a testimonial account because as much as the $800,000, right? I made 30 grand last week, right? Those are powerful. That's beautiful. But I love the $50, $100 story. I had somebody literally in Arizona, Yuma, Arizona, take a $50 account and in 3 weeks just, tuning into my sessions, on Sunday nights and Tuesday nights and turn that into over 3 grand, right? That's powerful. That's powerful. You know what I mean? Just by plugging into a system, right? I keep talking about you guys talked about this is the ecosystem, right? When you plug into a community, right? So this is the whole point of this, guys. Plugging into a community, and we're able to show somebody take $50 into $3,000, $100 into $5,000. This happens every single day, right? So when you hear somebody like Joel talk about the passion that comes out of, right? Because we're reaching out to you guys. We're telling you, you can do this for you. We're nobody special. Right? We don't got wicked jump shots. We're not, rappers, singing, none of these things. We're everyday average people. And we came, my parents were born from a third world country. You heard Garrett. Garrett came from nothing. Joe Saint. So we're all able to make a choice, a decision. We decided to say enough's enough. I want to make a financial change in my life for my loved ones, for everybody else around me. I'm going to put in just $50. I'm going to take that instead of going to the club, instead of buying unnecessary things that are killing you every single day, right? Stop smoking cigarettes, stop spending so much money on things that's not doing nothing to you. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself, and you'll be surprised, right? You'll get out of your corporate job in less than 30 days. right? We had people in our organization literally telling me and Garrett, we quit our job today. Yesterday, we quit our job, right? Because I learned a skill set that's going to last me a lifetime that I can pass down to generation. You think Donald Trump taught his daughter Ivanka how to fill out a job application to Target?
That's right.
I promise you, he did not. He taught her a skill set on how to go out and build your own business, your own empire. That's what we're trying to teach you guys. How to go out there and build your own empire. So you can take your own $50 right out your pocket and go make $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $800,000, right? So you can finally have that nice Christmas that you want, right? We do this every single week. So I'm looking out to you, all you guys who are out there. Why aren't you doing it? What's holding you back? Stop coming up with excuses. Stop blaming the next person. Stop blaming your mom, your pops. Stop blaming God. Start looking yourself in the mirror. Make a change. Plug in to the right ecosystem, right? And if you got people in your phone book who are not supporting you, get rid of them, right? It's 2018 is coming up. They're not supporting you. Goodbye. Delete. So if there's only one person in there, that's the one person you're rolling with. That's the one person you're taking into 2018 with you, and we're going to take $50 and turn that into $3,000, $10,000, $100,000, $1 million. That's how we get it done.
And we're coming to a city near you. I mean, we're going to be in Detroit January the 8th. Detroit. It's January 8th. We're coming to Charlotte, Atlanta. And so my goal is that when we do these meetings that we'll be able to do some of these panel styles because I think they're very important. I want to take a couple questions because we're going to get ready to wind up. A couple questions from the audience, or if you have questions on Facebook, please put in your question right now. Listen, you might say, how do you get started? You get started by paying one time $235. Just one time. One time, that's it, $235. And if you don't have $235, I want you to be mad that you don't have it, because one thing about lack, it doesn't stop till you get ticked off. My situation didn't change until my ex-husband left me with a baby girl and some Pampers and $100 in the account driving a Ford Escort. That's when things changed, because I said, you know what? There's no reason in the world that I should be living like this. I am too beautiful and too brilliant.
Amen.
I mean, seriously, you need to be thinking that about yourself. And so at the end of the day, I realized I don't need to just be waiting on another man to take care of me. My daddy took care of me. Drug dealers took care of me. That was a mess. And I had to finally say, you know what? Why can't you take care of yourself? Take care of yourself. And then I had to get financially educated. Then I had to start connecting with the right people. The reason you're not where you're supposed to be because your circle is the wrong circle. And I'm not saying you got to spit on everybody, because you never forget where you came from. So when I go to the hood, I be like, hey, what's up? I ain't afraid to go to the hood. When I go to the hood, when I go to Detroit, what's up, y'all? Because I came from some of those places. Now, I didn't live there, but I had friends there. You see what I'm saying? So I will never, ever forget those people and let them know. Because sometimes it'll be one hungry person like, come on, I'm ready. So all you got to do is spend $235. That's all you got to do. And then let us help you, walk you through the rest. Don't have in your mind you got to figure out everything. Only thing you got to do is make a decision and my broke day's over. That's all you got to do is say, I'm making a decision. And don't wait, ladies. You can honor your husbands. You can love him. But he shouldn't have to do it in order for you to do it. My husband is a pilot. What if he said, unless you want to be a pilot, I can't be a pilot? That'd be a mess. He can be a pilot if he want to be a pilot. Right? So trust your own financial gut. Make decisions for yourself. Don't make decisions here, make decisions here. The millions that I've made didn't come from here, they came from here. I know in 5 minutes if I want to do business with somebody or not. I know in 5 minutes if I like somebody or not, because I don't like everybody. I love everybody, but I'm like some people, I'll be like, I'll never do business with them because something in here make me sick when I sit with you. I'm just saying. And then some people, I'm like, no, I like being around you. You know what I'm saying? So you trust that, because that is going to be the thing that leads you, and it's really the leading of Holy Spirit. The Bible says that he would order your steps. So you're not here by design. You're not watching on social media just because you got a tag. I believe you were drawn here because there's a mandate on your life for more. And you do not need to leave 2017 in that same state, but you're going to have to divinely connect with people that have your answer and not your problem. Get with people that add value to you, not take value away from you. But with people that are assets, not liabilities. So, if you got a question, ask it. Because I felt a preach thing coming on me. Just drunk. I said, oh! Do you have a question? Anybody out there? If y'all got a question? Anybody on social media got a question? Otherwise, we're going to wrap it. Any questions? Any questions in the seats? Physically in the building. If not, that's cool. Any questions? Anybody got questions on social media? I don't know. Maybe y'all don't got a question. The only thing y'all should be saying is sign me up. That's what you should be saying. Sign me up. Anybody? Y'all checking for questions? I guess everything been said. Okay. 10. 9. Any questions? 8.
How long does it take to learn the skill?
How long does it take to learn the skill? I mean,
Honestly, like any skill set, how long did it take you to learn algebra? How long did it take you to learn how to ride a bicycle? How long did it take you to drive a car? So it all depends on the person and how fast you want to learn, right? Success is, again, it's all about speed. Please understand that, guys. How fast, how bad do you want it, right? The people who take the longest, they don't want it bad. Jewel grabbed onto this quick. Why? She wanted it bad. So it all comes down to you and your personality. So how bad you want it.
Anthony, how long did it take you?
To learn Bitcoin, not too long at all. It just made sense.
This made sense.
And, and I just made the sacrifice.
You just made the sacrifice.
So,
Yeah.
And I knew it was going up, So I do a lot of my learning on coin market cap, just basically learning, the different coins or whatnot. Like you said, it's a gut thing. I follow my gut on a lot of the decisions that I made.
Mm-hmm.
So it took no time to learn my gut. So so I just if you hungry, and there's a lot of information out there, but a lot of times people spend so much time learning, trying to learn, what should I do, and then that's when they start getting scared. And no, I don't want to invest. This is my last $1,000. What is $1,000? It's like, even if of course I can say that, but even when I only had $1,000, I still thought, what is $1,000? What is my future worth?
Yeah, what is your future worth? That's good. You was trying to say something?
Yeah. I just definitely wanted to say one of the differences for the person that was asking how long to learn the skill set. In pharmacy school, I had to go, for 6-8 years and having somewhat mastered the skill set before I can start doing anything. With this, you don't have to wait. We're always learning. All of us are still learning.
Yeah.
So your learning really doesn't mean you can't start earning money while you're learning.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have it mastered before you start seeing results, and that can happen almost immediately.
That's really good. Yes.
Okay, we have a question from Grant live here. How often can you withdraw your money?
You can withdraw your money every day, literally. I mean, we have some people withdraw every day, some people withdraw every week, every month. You have access to all your money. So it's not like a traditional 401k or annuity or mutual fund where you have to hold onto it to your 59 and a half. You literally can live off of your trades. Most people in this space live off of their trades. Okay, anybody else? Yes.
She said, what business is this? I guess I'm just...
What business is this? iMarkets Live. It's our business. Anybody else? Okay, great. This has been great. Happy holidays, everybody. God bless you. Thank you. Let's give it up for the team, the squad.